Jenny and Sumit's relationship has once again reached a breaking point. After years of cultural clashes, family disapproval, and endless sacrifices, the couple's love story, once celebrated as proof that love knows no age or borders, is now facing its hardest test yet. Jenny left everything behind in America to be with Sumit in India. She fought against skepticism, legal hurdles, and a family that never accepted her. For years, she endured criticism from fans, tears from Sumit's parents, and her own growing doubts about whether this love was truly worth all the pain. But now, after everything they've been through, cracks are showing in their relationship again. This time, it's not just about Sumit's parents or society's judgment. It's about trust, emotional exhaustion, and a sense of betrayal that both can feel deep inside. The latest tension began when Sumit's family appeared to take an even firmer stance against Jenny. Despite the couple being legally married, Sumit's parents have reportedly refused to meet or acknowledge Jenny as part of the family. The disapproval has left Sumit torn between the woman he loves and the family whose approval he's always sought. For Jenny, the emotional toll has been enormous. She's spent over a decade proving herself, adapting to a new culture, a new lifestyle, and a relationship that constantly demands her to be patient. But patience has limits. In recent scenes, fans saw her voice what many have suspected for a long time. She's tired of being treated like an outsider in her own marriage. Sumit, on the other hand, finds himself trapped between two worlds. His love for Jenny is real. He's risked his reputation, his family bonds, and even his financial security to be with her. But deep down, Sumit still hopes his parents will one day accept their marriage. That hope has kept him from fully standing up for Jenny at times, creating moments of heartbreak and confusion between them. The tension reached a breaking point when Sumit's parents reportedly made it clear that Jenny would never be welcome in their home. For them, the relationship violates deeply held cultural expectations, not just because of age, but because of how it reflects on the family's social standing. For Jenny, those words cut deep. After so many years of trying to prove her love, being unwelcome forever felt like the final straw. Viewers have noticed how much Sumit's inner conflict is affecting his behavior. In the latest episodes, his hesitation, emotional distance, and guilt have created more arguments. Jenny feels she's constantly fighting for space in a relationship that should have been a partnership. Sumit feels torn apart, unable to balance the two halves of his life. Some fans believe that Sumit is still emotionally dependent on his parents' approval. Others think he's caught in an impossible situation, wanting to be the loving husband Jenny deserves, while not wanting to lose his entire family in the process. Jenny, meanwhile, has started questioning whether love alone can sustain a marriage. She's expressed fears that she may have given up her old life for someone who can't fully commit to her emotionally. "I thought once we got married, things would change," she said tearfully in one episode. "But I'm still fighting for acceptance. How long can anyone keep doing that?" The emotional weight of this conflict has taken its toll on both of them. Sumit appears withdrawn and anxious, while Jenny often looks lonely, her confidence fading. It's not the first time they've hit a crossroads, but this time feels different, heavier, more final. Behind the scenes, cultural expectations play a huge role in their struggle. In Indian society, family honor and parental blessing are deeply valued. Marrying against a family's wishes can lead to social rejection and lifelong tension. Sumit's parents see Jenny as a symbol of defiance, while Sumit sees her as the love of his life. It's a painful contradiction he hasn't learned to navigate. Fans online are deeply divided. Some stand by Jenny, praising her for her strength, patience, and resilience. Others sympathize with Sumit, believing he's under impossible pressure. And then there are those who think it's time for both to finally walk away, for Jenny to return to the US and rebuild her peace, and for Sumit to face the consequences of his choices. The latest updates show both of them reflecting on their journey. Jenny has hinted that she feels alone even when she's not, suggesting the emotional distance between them keeps growing. Sumit has expressed regret for not standing up more firmly, admitting he never wanted Jenny to feel unwanted or unloved. But the damage may already be done. Trust, once broken, is hard to repair. After years of fighting the same battles, the exhaustion is visible on both their faces. The question now is not just whether they love each other, It's whether that love can survive without acceptance, peace, or mutual security. Jenny's friends have encouraged her to think about her happiness first. They've seen her cry too many times, waiting for Sumit to change or for his family to soften. At some point, one friend told her, "You have to love yourself enough to stop waiting." Sumit, meanwhile, has been caught in guilt and confusion. He knows he's hurt Jenny by not standing up for her more boldly, but he also feels the crushing expectation of being a good son. His world seems to be collapsing from both sides: the family he can't please, and the wife he can't comfort. As of now, it's unclear where they stand. Some sources suggest they're still together, trying to rebuild trust. Others believe they're living apart, at least temporarily, to clear their heads. Whatever the truth, one thing is certain: the fairy tale ending they once dreamed of has been replaced by a harsh reality neither of them can ignore. Jenny and Sumit's story has always been about love versus tradition, heart versus duty. But today, it feels more like a story of two people realizing that love alone might not be enough. After everything they've lost and everything they've fought for, the question remains: will this be the end of their journey, or just another painful chapter in a love story that refuses to die? After months of silence, uncertainty, and emotional distance, the world of Jenny and Sumit seems to be standing on a knife's edge. What once felt like an unbreakable bond between two soulmates has turned into a cold silence filled with regret, confusion, and unsaid words. Jenny has always been the one who sacrificed the most. She left behind her children, her country, and her comfort to start over in India, all for love. But love, no matter how strong, begins to fade when one person is always giving and the other is always torn between two worlds. In recent days, Jenny has started to express feelings she once kept hidden. Friends close to her revealed that she feels mentally drained and emotionally exhausted. After years of holding on to the idea that patience and love would change everything, she now realizes that maybe Sumit will never be able to give her the peace she deserves. Sumit, meanwhile, looks like a man carrying the weight of guilt. His smile has lost its warmth. He tries to show Jenny affection, but the distance between them speaks louder than words. He's stuck in the same cycle, trying to please his parents while begging Jenny to understand. But Jenny has changed. The woman who once cried silently in corners now speaks up for herself. In one conversation, she reportedly told Sumit, "I don't want to beg for love anymore. I just want to be treated like your wife, not your secret." That statement hits Sumit hard, forcing him to face the reality he's been avoiding for years. The deeper problem lies in Sumit's constant fear of losing his family, fear of being rejected by his community, and fear of standing alone. These fears have shaped every decision he's made since the beginning of their relationship. But fear and love rarely live together in peace. Jenny's patience is nearly gone. She has started to realize that every time she forgives Sumit, she loses a piece of herself. The constant emotional roller coaster has left her questioning if this relationship is worth saving at all. Rumors among fans suggest that Jenny might be considering returning to America for a while. She's reportedly been in touch with friends back home, exploring what her life could look like if she went back. It's not about revenge. It's about peace. She wants to breathe again, to stop feeling like she's fighting a battle she can never win. Sumit, however, seems desperate to fix things. He's been seen trying to reach out to family members, hoping that time has softened their hearts. But sources close to the situation say nothing has changed. His parents remain firm. They will never accept Jenny. For them, the marriage was a mistake, one they still can't forgive. And that truth is what's tearing Sumit apart. He's realizing that he can't please everyone. No matter what he does, someone will always be hurt. If he chooses Jenny, he loses his family. If he goes back to his parents, he loses the woman who stood by him through everything. This emotional tug-of-war has created an invisible wall between them. They live together, but it feels like two people sharing a house, not a home. Small misunderstandings turn into arguments. Words that once sounded loving now carry bitterness. The laughter that used to fill their home has faded into long, heavy silences. Fans have noticed how their story has shifted from hope to heartbreak. On social media, some say Jenny deserves to walk away, that she's done enough. Others believe Sumit still loves her deeply but lacks the strength to stand firm. And then there are those who think they're both trapped in a cycle of guilt and dependence, afraid to start over but unable to move forward. In one emotional moment captured recently, Jenny reportedly said, "If love means pain, I don't want it anymore." That line struck a chord with fans around the world. After years of defending their love, Jenny seems ready to accept that sometimes letting go is the only way to heal. Sumit, meanwhile, is struggling with denial. He tells himself that things will get better, that Jenny will forgive him one more time. But even he knows deep down that the foundation is cracking. You can't build a happy life on secrets, shame, and half-truths. The cultural divide remains the unspoken villain of their story. Sumit's parents fear shame. Jenny fears abandonment. Between those fears, love keeps getting lost. What once looked like a romantic rebellion now feels like a tragedy, two people fighting the world and slowly losing themselves in the process. In private moments, Jenny has been reflecting on what she's learned. She's realized that love doesn't always mean holding on. Sometimes it means walking away with dignity. For the first time, she's putting her own happiness at the center of her decisions. Whether she stays or leaves, this new Jenny isn't afraid anymore. Sumit's future, however, remains uncertain. Without Jenny, he may finally gain his family's acceptance. But at what cost? The guilt of losing the woman who loved him when no one else did will haunt him for years. If he keeps holding on, he risks dragging both of them into deeper misery. The silence between them speaks volumes. Jenny spends more time alone. Sumit spends more time avoiding difficult conversations. The distance isn't just physical. It's emotional, spiritual, and growing every day. As fans wait to see what happens next, one thing is clear: this isn't just a love story anymore. It's a story about choices, about courage, and about the price of following your heart in a world that doesn't understand. If this truly is the end, it won't be because they stopped loving each other. It will be because love, without freedom and respect, eventually breaks under its own weight. For years, Jenny and Sumit fought to prove that love conquers all. But now, they face the hardest truth of all. Sometimes, love isn't enough to save two people from themselves. With their cafe ambitions at the center of the action, Jenny and Sumit are back in business mode on 90 Day Fiance, The Other Way. They're looking at secondhand equipment, financing agreements, and space feasibility to get their finger food concept off the ground after previous company endeavors failed. The menu is straightforward: spaghetti, fries, burgers, sandwiches, and chocolate-based sweets. However, simplicity does not equate to ease. Sumit relies on existing contacts, particularly with Rohit, a friend who has a place and extra culinary equipment from previous restaurant endeavors. Used grills, fryers, mixers, and graters have promise, but there are also significant risks. Compliance, cleanliness, and condition are major concerns. Jenny, meanwhile, wants to know exactly what equipment is effective. Which arrangement makes the most sense? When and by whom is payment made? There are several trade-offs ahead, including evaluating equipment kept in a dusty, disorganized area, negotiating costs, and establishing loan conditions. Jenny and Sumit see this endeavor as more than just starting a cafe. It's about demonstrating that past errors don't have to rule future beginnings. 90 Day Fiance, The Other Way couple Jenny and Sumit need to focus on three things in order to make their cafe vision a reality: obtaining functional equipment, negotiating reasonable conditions, and making sure the area satisfies operational and hygienic requirements. Equipment such as deep fryers and barbecues is necessary. Credit-based agreements with reliable friends can save money, but only if the conditions are clear. The functionality of each item must be examined, ownership and payment arrangements must be negotiated, and previous neglect must not jeopardize safety requirements. What equipment is already available and what needs to be purchased are the main topics of discussion in this week's 90 Day Fiancé, The Other Way. Jenny and Sumit already have a mixer and grater, but they also need a deep fryer and grill. The surplus equipment from Rohit's previous restaurant enterprises is kept in unfavorable conditions, untidy, dusty, and disorganized, which contributes significantly to the issue. That raises questions about the safety and functionality of many things. Sumit and Jenny also understand that cleanliness and arrangement are necessary, even if the equipment functions. For instance, there are issues with surface hygiene, insect management, gas line safety, and cleanliness surrounding storage. Using products kept in junk room conditions could conceal flaws that could be expensive or in violation of health regulations. It is impossible to compromise on planning how everything fits together, making sure the gas and power supply is safe, and maintaining a tidy operating footprint. How and on what terms Jenny and Sumit pay for the equipment is the second axis of the plan. Leveraging his acquaintance with Rohit, Sumit suggests a credit-based purchase with attractive payment terms rather than freebies. He demands unambiguous guidelines regarding ownership transfer, default remedies, and payment deadlines. Rohit, meanwhile, insists the equipment is for sale, not donation. So there's room for deal-making, but trust must be earned. 90-Day Fiance. The other ways Jenny and Sumit are both cautious because of past partnerships in which operations faltered and control was lost. Transparency is required, which includes examining every item, certifying its safety, identifying the usable parts, and reaching a clear agreement on terms. Now in its sixth season, 90 Day Diaries gives fans an intimate behind-the-scenes look into their favorite TLC couples. While some couples have found lasting love beyond their 90-day journeys, one couple revealed their separation in episode 9. After first debuting their romance on 90 Day Fiancé, The Other Way in 2019, Jenny Slate and Sumit Singh were celebrating their 3-year wedding anniversary. The couple, who first raised eyebrows with their 30-age difference, revealed that Sumit's family had finally accepted the U.S. native as his wife. "Since I didn't invite my parents to our wedding 3 years ago, we are holding our marriage to our renewal in a temple nearby their house," Sumit explained to the cameras. "We are headed there now, but my parents don't have any idea that we're going to renew our marriage vows." As the couple traveled to Sumit's family's house, Jenny was nervous about surprising his parents only because they had just accepted her, and she was worried about rocking the boat due to their sensitive dynamic. "And I'm just afraid that it's going to remind her of that dark period in our life," she explained to the cameras. When Sumit arrived at his family home, his father asked whether he'd had any luck in securing a job. Sumit replied that he hadn't, explaining he was looking specifically for work as a chef. Sumit's parents offered to let him and Jenny live with them, and to Jenny's frustration, he immediately agreed. "I'm old enough and I don't want to live by anyone else's house room but my own." This conversation isn't over, the Californian native promised viewers in a confessional. Steven Friend and Olga Kashimbatova, who documented their K1 journey on Season 6 of 90 Day Fiancé in 2018, were now parents of 2 living in New York. However, things weren't going too well in their marriage. "Olga and I have kind of always had a little bit of a tense relationship in the past few months, and we really haven't been seeing eye to eye too much," Steven told the cameras. 2 weeks ago, just kind of reached the boiling point. "I'm just staying with a friend until things can cool down and we can figure out, exactly what is going on." In her own confessional, Olga admitted she and Steven had been arguing a lot, so they decided to take time apart to give each other space. "There is so much uncertainty between Steven and me, and right now I don't really know what to do," she told viewers. "Should we continue to work on our relationship, or should we just finish it?" Olga met up with fellow 90 Day Fiancé alum Fernanda Flores for a photo shoot, where she opened up about her separation from Steven. "If New York is going to be very hard for me. I'm not going to put my kids in a situation that's I don't have money. I can't live here anymore," she admitted. "I'm just going to go back to Russia, visit the kids. I have my apartment there. I have, my family who helped me." TLC has revealed the couples for 90 Day Fiancé, The Other Way Season 7, which includes 4 new couples and 2 returning fan-favorite couples. 90 Day Fiancé, The Other Way Season 7 is set to premiere on Monday, September 8th at 8 p.m. Eastern Time/Pacific Time on TLC. The returning couples for the new season are Jenny, California, and Sumit, India, as well as Luke, California, and Madeleine, Colombia. Joining the series in Season 7 are Greta, Oklahoma, and Matthew, England, Anthony, California, and Manon, France, Padia, Texas, and Dylan, Tasmania, and Chloe, Massachusetts, and Johnny, Aruba. 90 Day Fiancé, The Other Way follows Americans leaving behind their lives in the U.S. to start over with their partners abroad, facing unfamiliar cultures, new family dynamics, and the pressure of building a future far from home. Whether they're adjusting to life in a quiet English village, facing isolation in remote Tasmania, navigating jealousy on the beaches of Aruba, or confronting new challenges in India and Medellin, each couple faces deeply personal turning points that push their relationships to the brink. 90-Day Fiance. The Otherway star Sumit Singh is taking a peek back into his catfishing days. The reality TV star met his now-wife, Jenny Slatan, back in 2012, pretending to be a man named Michael Joan. He kept Slatan in the dark for a year before coming clean. The duo hit it off despite the catfishing and tied the knot. Sumit Singh's recent Instagram story, although as per lighthearted fan take, has the star tapping back into his catfishing days as he posted a story with